Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So we saw a little bit of volatility on the lower time frame today, nothing too exciting though. Have seen quite a bit of a retracement today, but to be honest, nothing really changed. We have, however, come back quite a bit. So there are now, we can consider, or we could consider at the moment, that this is still the wave 2 low that we've got here at around, $1,200. This is still a possibility that we have here an ABC. I think before I had a smaller setup here, where I did have before, I think the A wave here, then the B wave here. Was it here? Can't remember that now. Or it was here, and then the C wave down, so that the wave 2 actually ended there, which is still a possibility. But then we would have the problem that this move to the upside is clearly a 3-wave structure. I wouldn't know how to explain that really. I think you can get away with counting it as a 5-wave move, so basically another 1-2 setup, but I'm not convinced. So I decided to move the wave 2 here, move the C wave here, have the B wave, let me see, A wave was down here, then the B wave at the top, and the C wave coming down, possibly even going a little bit lower. So I'm very cautious of further short-term downside here due to the latest move down. Always bear in mind, this is only micro counting, trying to make sense, trying to give you a roadmap here how this could unfold. There are a few different possibilities how this can be counted. The thing is, and I said that before, until we don't break out really decisively above this range, there's still a lot of downside pressure on this chart, and we need that breakout out of the range, okay? And then we can look at, first of all, sort of the region between 1270, 1290, and if we can break above that, it can take us into the 1400, 1500 region. But again, hopefully everybody understands by now that this is all not high probability, because if you understand price structures, and what I've been telling you in many videos is that the move here is either a corrective move or a diagonal. Both are not very reliable patterns, so this is not an impulse. Impulses make it very easy for us, life, and analysis, but this is not a reliable pattern. So we always need to have alternatives, and nothing is certain in this market environment. So what we can track here at the moment is further upside based on the setup here, but we need to be very cautious that this could break down. So having at the moment, I think I strongly believe, and I'm going to post it on Twitter and Instagram as well, I strongly believe in the current environment, and this is very important anyway, but in the current environment where we don't even have impulsive price action, money management and risk management are the most important things at the moment. Having risk management, what I do here, I mean, for example, what happened to me, I mean, I did buy into these support areas, I moved up my stop loss first to break even, then into profit. Quite nice profit actually for a few days. And now it has triggered again a buy order and it's moved up. So I've pulled my stop loss already into break even because I'm very cautious that this could break down. What I tell you here is I'm tracking upside potential, but this is not an impulse, not a crystal clear impulse I'm tracking here. This could just be an ABC, which is, if it is a corrective pattern, it has a great chance of failure. So don't just because I'm telling you here that this could go up. We have a breakout point that needs to be broken first. We need to hold support. There are certain conditions. Don't just blindly trade this without a stop loss in place, with leverage or something, and think this is going to work out and then be frustrated because it doesn't. So this is a tough market at the moment, and sometimes for a lot of people it will be better not to trade at all at the moment. I know a lot of people want to trade every day, but if you don't have a 5-star or 4-star trade setup, sometimes it's just worth waiting, because if things are rather uncertain, we have the potential on the chart and you need to know what could happen, but it is getting messy, and this is not, it doesn't really get off the ground here. I mean, I'm deciding to trade this because I had some comfortable positions here, made some profits in the last few days, and now I've put into break even, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, not a big deal. I'm going to reset lower, but it's also not a crystal clear short setup for me. So, it might be a short setup if we do this ABC and get it to this resistance area around 1270, 1290. It might be worth, looking at a short if we see evidence that it's turning down. But at the moment, this is still a pattern where we can track upside potential short term. I mean, we've been talking about this down here, and sort of it has worked out. We moved all the way up here. Then I talked about a strong retracement. I remember the live stream when we had the CPI data, but it lost even the ascending trend line, so came down further than I anticipated. But then I told you very quickly, we're morphing into the alternative structure. We're going to get into this support area, and I set a buy order here. And since then, we've been tracking a little bit higher. But it's not a high confidence setup. I hope that is clear, especially because of the length, how long this is taking here. This is a very difficult range, and it's an ascending wedge this is morphing into. And we see this ascending wedge now on lower time frame as well. So it's getting a bit difficult. Ascending wedges are rather patterns where you would suggest that it's going to break out to the downside. Now, fair enough, you could actually argue this is actually a channel, not necessarily a wedge pattern. It's more a channel. But also a lot of overlaps here. Looks rather corrective again. So I wouldn't be surprised to break down from here. I wouldn't be surprised at all. In that case, my stop loss triggers at break even, and I'm going to just sit on the sidelines just to see what's happening here. Because we don't have a clear setup. I mean, the best is to trade impulses, but this is turning from a possible impulse that we had, or at least an ABC, into something that is a bit messy. So sometimes it's just worth waiting and just looking for the next high quality setup. You know, you don't need to trade any setups that you see, just trade the best ones. And this is turning into something that is getting a bit messy, a lot of overlaps. Yeah. I mean, we're still sort of, you know, towards the end of the year. There is less volume than you would normally have it, most likely, yeah. But it is, you know, not very exciting here. I mean, there's certainly the chance now that we found support at this ascending trend line to first of all push again against resistance, which is when I might choose to take some profits actually, or maybe partial profits in the case it does break through. That I still have some skin in the game, but yeah, this is at the moment still something I'm tracking as an A, B, C, or alternatively a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern that would actually take us higher. However, we need to hold obviously these support levels. I mean, as long as we're holding, you know, at least the red one, the upside potential is still there. Obviously, going below 1150 will massively reduce the likelihood that this is still going to work to the upside. And then going down actually below the red support area, which is sort of the original move down, below 1125, I think we're going to go quite quickly to the $1,000 level. And then this upside potential is completely dismissed. At the moment, I'm looking at, yeah, A, B, C, and then here, the wave 1 to the upside, and now in a wave 2, either A, B, and we come down lower in C, which I wouldn't find too unlikely, but then again, it is sort of limited by this last support area. Yeah, in this particular pattern, 1, 2, it should not drop below the 1185 level. If it does, this pattern is invalidated. But we then could still, if we drop below that level, it could just be an A wave, and all of this is currently a B wave. That's possible as well. So we have an A and a larger B, and then move up in C, so that this yellow 1, 2 has never started. These are sort of the potentials we're looking at the moment. I think it's important just to know the pivot points at the moment, the key support areas. If they drop, we move into the next support area and the next support area. And they do overlap, which makes it difficult at the moment here. But yeah, there is still, I mean, again, as long as we're holding the 1150 level, you know, this could still easily be a B wave. Obviously, the closer we get to 1150, the less likely it will be. Yeah, because also here we actually don't really want to go below the 78.6% retracement of the A wave. So 1166 will already make a move up below 1166 will already challenge that scenario, that this could still be a B wave. So a lot of unknowns here in this structure. And there are certain trade setups that can work out, but they are all, especially with the latest rejections from the resistance areas and the latest 3-wave move to the upside here, they are, you know, this idea that we can go long here in this impulse is getting challenged. Maybe it will be delayed a bit. And if it doesn't work out at all, then we know at which point this is going to get confirmed, that we're going to get a breakdown straight away. That's why stop losses are so important. I mean, if you really are, you know, doing buying and selling at the moment, and I see so many people who are frustrated because they lose a lot of money. I mean, using leverage in this environment is first of all very challenging anyway. Not using stop losses is not very responsible. And you know, if you know, also, you know, think about your position sizing in these environments. You don't want to go all in into a low quality trade setup, because these are turning into lower quality setups, in my opinion. I mean, we're still holding the trend line, and again, we can easily reach probably here the the resistance line, but this is now getting quite obvious, and the more obvious something is, the more obvious it's also wrong. So again, at the moment we are in the channel. Unfortunately, here in the very, very short term, we're seeing a lot of overlaps at the moment. And if we see a lot of overlaps, that's normally not a very bullish signal. So if we now come down in any time here, and we drop below the 78.6% retracement of this move, which would be around 1203, then again, we're probably making a new low, and then have support at, first of all here, 1185, and then 1150. So this is where we currently are, and it's important in the current environment to be a bit strategic. I know this is the time where a lot of people get frustrated because not too much is happening, and I get it, because it is not very volatile. It is where people get bored. But typically when a lot of people get bored and we're getting in a tighter and tighter range, and it has really for a very long time, I haven't seen such a tight range, especially in crypto. When we are getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, the move that is following is going to be very explosive. And we had that situation here. That was quite an explosive move. Yes, fair enough, only on the lower time frame, but it was for the degree of what happened here, and then the move was quite explosive. So, however, it did not lead to a substantial breakout, which again was a bit frustrating, but you know, we can only observe and then react. So I think we need a bit more patience, and the breakout points here are, to the downside, I mentioned them to you. To the upside, it's certainly this trend line here, which at the moment, and it's a bit of an ascending trend line, at the moment it is at around 1235 that we need to get above, and then we could reach here that roughly the 1270 area. Yeah. Sorry, it's 1235, and then we can reach the 1270 area and maybe even a bit higher. Okay, and that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. And if you're interested, also check out our trading course that we offer on morecryptoonline.com. And also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter, because here's additional content basically every day. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.